everyone, this is Michelle with Designs by JuJu, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own customized birthday shirt. You may have seen these customized birthday shirts floating around on the internet for quite some time now, but did you know that you can make them using Designs by JuJu fonts and appliques? Well, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing exactly that, and you are going to love how easy this process truly is. So what we're going to start with, I already have my design kind of laid out here on my screen so that you could have an idea of the design I'm going to be making for a birthday shirt. So I'm using Embrilliance Essentials. While you do not have to have embroidery software to make these designs, they do make the process a little bit easier, and we do love Embrilliance here at Designs by JuJu. So I went ahead and wanted to show you some of the steps that you can do to make this shirt. So I'm going to be using the Tiara Numbers applique for my project, and this is my final design that I'm going to do. So I'm going to go over to my second canvas here, and I already have my Tiara number 3 loaded onto my 8x8 hoop. This is the 5x7 size. I'm going to be making a size 3T toddler shirt for a friend, and so I've got this already loaded onto my hoop here, and it's very easy. You can download your designs from Designs by JuJu and then pop them right onto your Embrilliance hoop here. So I've got my 5x7 size. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go up to this letter A here so that I can add some text. And when I click on that, it's going to pull up a text box. So I'm doing the name Eloise for my friend, like I said. I'm going to click the enter. And then over here, when I click this arrow, it will drop down all of the fonts that I have. Now, the cool thing about Designs by JuJu fonts is that when you make your purchase, nearly all of the fonts that are purchased on Designs by JuJu are included with a BX file. And when you download that BX file, you can automatically upload those. You can click and upload the sizes that you want right into your Embrilliance, which makes it so easy to do these rather than dragging a letter step by step. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using the Designs by JuJu font Danielle. And I want to use the 1.5 inch size. Now you can choose what size fits best for you, depending on your project and how you want that to look. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit here because I want you to see some of the options you can do with this font. So like I said, when you download the BX fonts, it automatically uploads the whole font directly to size right into your Embrilliance. It is so nice. If I was going to do this on my machine, I'd have to drag it letter by letter, which isn't impossible, but it is a lot more time consuming. So over here under my alphabet properties, you can see that I have some options for some things I could do. If I wanted to add some curve, I could do that with my font if I wanted to curve it around that number 3. If I had multiple lines of text, I could do that. I'm going to reset that. Actually, I'll just click my undo. That's the best thing about this is you can fix anything if you don't like it. If I wanted to add another word, like say I wanted another 3, I could do that, and I could have 2 lines of text. So there's just a lot of options here for things that you can do. But what we're going to use right now is I'm going to scroll down just a little, and the first thing I want to do is focus on this spacing. Now, one of the ways that you can move these letters further apart is to drag this way, or you can move them closer together. And since mine is a cursive font, I do want to move them a little bit closer together. Now, if I keep going to move them where I want, you'll start to see that some of them get closer to others, and I don't always like the way that looks. So I get them in a general area, and then when you click on the individual letters on the green box that's on them, you can move that specific letter. So now just on my keyboard, I'm going to drag those letters to where I want them. I love this feature. My S isn't going to line up quite right with the I, so I'll just put it close by. and then my E. All right, if you didn't like that font, you could go back and try another. If you didn't like that size, the same thing, you can go back and try another. Okay, so here's my 5x7 hoop, or my 8x8 hoop, I'm sorry, my 8x8 hoop with my 5x7 3 and then my 1.5-inch Eloise. Now I want to move my name here because I don't want it directly on top of my 3 like that. It looks pretty cute, but I'd like it a little bit offset like I had it at the beginning. So I can just click and drag it down. And then I can zoom out. I can see if I like that. Maybe I want my 3 over a little bit. You can completely customize this any way you want. Maybe you want your name on the side. I've done that before. You can rotate it freely, or up at the top here, there's some arrows and you can rotate it 90 degrees. So if you wanted it to go vertical, you definitely can. I'm going to keep mine horizontal for this project. Okay, I'm going to place it where I think I would like it. And then we're ready for the next step. All right, so now that we have our name centered where we want it, you can also use some of the alignment features. I'm going to realign them. I'm going to select all of my images, and I'm going to go up here to the top. You can center them in your hoop if you want to make sure that they're both aligned on the bottom. You can do that also. So just have fun playing around with some of those features, get it exactly how you want it, and then save this to your USB, and we're ready to head on over to our machine to make our number 3 shirt. All right, now that we have our design file saved to our USB, we're ready to get stitching. So I have my shirt right here that I'm going to be embroidering on, and I need to do a little bit of prep work before I can take it over to my machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the midpoint of my garment. There are a couple of ways you can do this. The way I'm going to do it is I am going to fold my shirt in half, like so. And then with my iron, I'm going to give it a quick press, and that will help to show me where the middle of the seam is. Okay, so let's get the iron pad, place this. I'm just gonna give it a quick press, nothing too crazy, but just so I can see where the midline of my shirt is. Okay, now that I've got that, I'm gonna move it out of the way, and then I will unfold it. And there you can see this is the middle of my shirt. Now, when I'm finished with the embroidering, I can just spray that with some water and it'll come right out. Okay, I'm going to be using a tubular arm machine, which is different than a standard single needle, but tubular arms are a lot easier if you are embroidering like clothing or bags, anything that has a back that tends to get in the way when you're embroidering. So I will be using my tubular arm single needle. I have a Brother Persona that I'll be using, and I am going to go ahead and put my 8x8 magnetic hoop into my shirt. Now, a little tip that I have found with these magnetic hoops is you can place some sticky dots on them, and that will help to hold your stabilizer in place. That way, as you're wrangling it into your shirt, it doesn't wiggle and move around. So I'm going to be using a cutaway stabilizer. That's what I like. There are a variety of stabilizers that work for apparel. This is just one of my favorites. So do your research, see what works best for you. It takes some trial and error, and it also depends on the type of garment and fabric that you're embroidering to. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, I'm gonna finagle with this. I'm gonna get it centered into my hoop, and then we'll be ready to go over to the machine. All right, my garment is hooped. I have my midsection right here, and it lines up with my midline that's on the bottom of my hoop that I have marked. My shirt is pulled nice and tight so that it will not crease or pucker when I'm embroidering, and we're ready to go stitch. Okay, we are over at my persona and we're ready to start stitching. So I've already hooped up some pink thread that I'm going to be using, and the first stitch is going to be the number 3, the placement line for my number 3. So here we go. Okay, the next stitch is going to be my tack down on my fabric, and I'm using this super cute crown fabric that goes perfect with that princess tiara font. We're going to go ahead and stitch the tack down now. You can prep your fabric with some Heat and Bond Light if you prefer. Okay, now I'm going to remove my hoop from my machine and trim around my applique fabric. I have just trimmed right along those tack down stitches using my applique scissors. I made sure not to cut the tack down stitches because we want to make sure that the fabric stays nice and secure. So now I've loaded it back onto my machine and we're going to run the satin stitch that goes around the number 3. All right, our satin stitch for our number 3 is complete. Now we're ready to stitch the decorative bean stitch that's going to go all the way around the number 3. All right, here we go. Okay, the next stitch is going to be the crown up at the top of my number 3, and I'm going to use some King Star gold metallic thread for this step, and I'm going to slow down the speed of my machine. Metallic thread works best when you slow down the speed of your machine. So I'm going to slow down the speed and we'll stitch the crown. All right, the crown has just finished stitching and it is so pretty. That King Star metallic just stitches really nicely, even on clothing. So we're gonna load up our last thread color, which is the hot pink again, to match the bean stitching. And the last stitch is going to be the name. So load this up and we'll finish out our birthday shirt. Okay, my shirt has finished stitching, so now I'm going to remove my hoop from my machine and we'll go clean up our design. And there it is, my shirt is complete and it turned out so cute. You can see the adorable detailing, how nice that metallic thread looks, and my cute font. So again, you can make these shirts using a variety of awesome applique fonts that Designs by JuJu has on the website. There are tons of themes and options out there for you to choose from. So I hope that you guys will check them out. Also, make sure to check in the description box. We will have our blog linked for you to check out with a detailed step-by-step tutorial. And also make sure that you join us over on the Designs by JuJu Facebook group, where we always are having a lot of fun. Our friends are sharing lots of cool designs and more inspiration for you to get started with your own projects. So we hope to see you there. You can find the link to that also in the description box. All right, everybody, happy stitching!